want to get to the Cowboys and Hardy. This is ridiculous. This guy, I know that there's a lot of things that happen in the NFL that we don't know about, so we can only really truly react to what we do know and what we see and what we hear. And he remains by far the most despicable person in the NFL. He's a bad soul. Actually, he's a soulless soul. He's a bad person. It's a matter of time before he either hurts himself or hurts somebody else. You can take that to the bank. What in the world, and we'll get to the actual breakdowns from a football point of view, but what in the world, what gives this guy the license to race over to a special teams coach he doesn't even know, Coach Basacci, I think is how you say it, and basically knock a clipboard out of his hand and just turn the sidelines into anarchy? He's been there for 3 minutes. What is wrong with this guy?
He's got issues of emotion, of anger, of irrationality. And it's obviously this is all because Dwayne Harris, who was a former Cowboy, returned. He had the deciding touchdown on a kickoff return. So Greg Hardy is just livid, goes over to the special teams coach, knocks his clipboard out of his hand, gets in his face, gets into an argument with him, and then Des Bryant comes over and he's arguing with Des Bryant. I mean, he feels like he's the cancer in a locker room that you don't even know how to approach. Right? There's some guys that you can have conversations with and be like, hey, dude, let's stick together. Let's be a team. This seems like the kind of guy who doesn't even want to hear it.
I'd stay away from him. I wouldn't even walk past him.
I don't know how you have a conversation with him. And then what's worse is that Jerry Jones and I guess to an extent Jason Garrett, they just kind of they don't co-sign it, but they just let it happen. Right? That's not okay. I mean, think about you remember the Des Bryant sideline tyrant that he went off on? What was it, like 2 years ago? And it was really more about emotion and let's do this. And it looked like it was bad. And the reaction that you got from the coaches and Jerry Jones for that, they went after him. They're like, Des, you got to control yourself. You got to do these things. They don't say anything to Greg Hardy. And so they let him get away. They let him be this. And you wonder why this team is 0-4 right now without Tony Romo, even in games they could have won. And you wonder how they're going to probably be 0-8 without Tony Romo. Because if you let this stuff exist, it takes over the team. It becomes more important than what's happening or the corrections that you need to make on a football field. And this Cowboys team, I mean, there's some bad things going on injury-wise, but this is probably the worst of anything going on with that Cowboys team right now.
And we've got to play some of the post-game reaction. His interview, which we'll do coming up next here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio, his interview, and I'll put quotes around that, was, it speaks for itself. So not only did he disrupt the special teams huddle and make a mockery of the sideline and just be an absolute clown again, he then had the gumption to conduct this interview. Here is Greg Hardy after the game.
No comment. Next question. No comment. Next question. Any other questions? No comment. Next question. Any other questions? No comment. 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 Any other questions? Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate y'all very much.
You're an ass. You're a punk. You're a filthy human being. You know what I wish? I am so close to saying something that I really know I shouldn't say, so I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show a little restraint there.
Well, he has zero respect for anything, whether it's the coach who he's berating and also pushing on the sideline, whether it's the game, which is a privilege to play, not a right. Certainly the media, who he's basically that wasn't edited, by the way.
No.
He's calling for questions and then cutting them off right in the middle of it. Who give us the reason for all the attention and the media and the money around the game. It's because of the way it's covered, and it's just disrespectful. I don't know how you're a teammate with a guy like that, have any kind of conversation with him without just feeling dirty talking to him. And the worst thing, and we said this in the first segment, the owner has no problem with it.
Well, neither does Jason Garrett. I know you're buddies with Jason, but Garrett's got to grow a backbone with this. Garrett's got to stand up and find some common moral ground, which I know he has. I know he does. But let's play this, and then I guess we can. That's probably the better thing to do. First the owner, and Tiki is right about Jerry Jones. You can't co-sign this, and in essence, that's what he's doing. Here's the owner.
Well, he's of course, one of the real leaders on this team, and he earns it. He earns it with respect from all of his teammates.
Wow.
That's the kind of thing that inspires. I don't have any issue with him being involved in motivating or pushing any part of the football team, because he plays and walks the walk.
What is he talking about?
He might be senile, honestly. He might be senile.
I don't have a problem with him pushing, not metaphorically, but like literally pushing guys on this team, including a coach. You don't put your hands on a coach in the middle of a game and then expect and think you're going to get respect, one, from the coach, and two, from the players around that coach. Are you kidding me?
There's nothing that I can say because we all know. I mean, we all know how pathetic this is.
We've been saying this from jump. When he got signed.
We have.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was going to happen at some point, and it's taken 4 consecutive losses because they have 0 quarterback play right now. Without Tony Romo, this team just doesn't have a chance, whether it's Brandon Whedon dinking and dunking for 100-yard running back days receiving or Matt Castle just inept throwing the ball down the field. They have no chance to win, and I understand the frustration, but Jesus, be graceful in some way. He has none of that. I could not be teammates with this guy. I really couldn't.
I hear you, but if you are, what do you do? I mean, you're not going to quit.
You can't.
When somebody says I can't be teammates with him, what's your choice? What's your recourse?
You have no choice.
Exactly.
You have no choice.
So you would be teammates with him.
But I'm fortunately not.
Yo, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. And, before you start sending us these dopey tweets, which are already coming in,
oh, he's a great player.
Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome. Okay, but your team sucks. You're losing game after game, and now you have a cancer in the locker room who's only going to bring negativity on the fact that you're losing. Where's the upside here? Because he's not helping you win.
May 13th, 2014, Greg Hardy attacked me in his bathroom. In his apartment. He picked me up and he threw me in the tile tub area of his bathroom. I've got bruises from head to toe, including head, back, neck, shoulders, arms, leg, elbow, and feet. Hardy pulled me from the tub by my hair, screaming at me that he was going to kill me, break my arms, and other threats that I completely believe. He then drugged me across, he then drugged me across the bathroom and out into the bedroom. Hardy choked me with both hands around my throat while I was lying on the floor. What a good guy, huh? Hardy picked me up over his head, threw me onto a couch covered in assault rifles and/or shotguns. I landed on those weapons. Hardy then bragged that all the assault rifles were loaded. Landing on those weapons bruised my neck and my back. He screamed for his administrative assistant, whose name is Sammy Curtis, to come into the room, hold me down. Curtis came in, grabbed me from behind, and held me down. Hardy and Curtis then took me into the living room area. I wasn't strong or quick enough to escape. I begged them to let me go. I crawled out of the apartment and ran to the police department. And this guy was willingly signed by Jerry Jones.
Yes, convicted of that, overturned on appeal because she was paid off and not willing to cooperate. He also got into a fight with Des Bryant on the sideline, and Jason Garrett is okay with it.
In order to be a good football player and a good football team, you have to have passion, and you have to put it all out there. You have to be completely engaged, completely invested in it. And sometimes over the course of the game when things don't go well, you're going to have a response. But if you've ever been a football coach or a football player, been around a pro football team, you understand that those things happen. You want the guys who have the passion, the emotion, the enthusiasm for the game.
What a wuss response.
Yeah.
What a wuss response.
Guys can have passion, but not this guy. They're blind. They're blind right now to what's happening right in front of them because they're trying to find an excuse for why they suck and they're 0-4. And it has everything to do with the quarterback as we're talking about, but this is going to become the story, and that's not good for the Dallas Cowboys.
No contrition. And if the stream of questions, which, as Tiki said, and he's right, he openly invited just to abuse people because that's seemingly, that's how he's built. If the questions, and I can't even give him a pass on this, but if the questions were all about the incident, and he said, and he said something like, I'm not going to get into that. It's a team thing. No comment. Next question. But Greg, what happened with the assistant? I'm not going to get into that. I'm here to talk about the game we lost. But it was about other things. Just a bad dude, man. Bad guy. Mark our words. Before you know it, police blotter. This guy's name is popping up, and I fear it's going to be something heinous. One of the worst people in sport. He is just a bad